So friends, a unanimous three-judge panel of a federal appeals court just told Donald Trump, no, you can't deploy soldiers to the streets of Chicago. And who were those three federal court judges appointed by? George W. Bush, Barack Obama, and Donald Trump. Points of light, friends. Points of light. Let's talk about that, because justice matters. Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. So friends, the federal courts continue to hold strong, continue to step up, continue to prohibit Donald Trump's lawlessness. Let's start with the new reporting. This from USA Today. Headline, Trump barred from deploying troops to Chicago for now. And that article begins, a federal appeals court won't allow President Donald Trump to deploy, at least for now, troops to Illinois as part of his crackdown known as Operation Midway Blitz, according to a decision published October 16th. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the Seventh Circuit, based in downtown Chicago, issued a decision upholding U.S. District Court Judge April Perry's October 9 decision to bar the White House from deploying troops. Trump administration lawyers had argued that protests against Trump's immigration enforcement crackdown amounted to rebellion. Judges at the appellate court disagreed. Quote, the spirited, sustained, and occasionally violent actions of demonstrators in protest of the federal government's immigration policies and actions, without more, does not give rise to a danger of rebellion against the government's authority. And now, friends, let's go right to the Seventh Circuit Court of Appeals opinion, and I'm not going to read much of it, just the opening paragraph, and then we are going to zero in on just 5 words. 5 words that couldn't be more directly important as No King's Day 2 approaches. The case is captioned, State of Illinois and City of Chicago, plaintiffs, appellees, versus Donald Trump et al. And others, defendants, appellants, before Judges Rovner, Hamilton, and St. Eve. And friends, as I mentioned, those judges were appointed by President George W. Bush, President Barack Obama, and Donald Trump. Talk about across the political and ideological spectrum. And their unanimous opinion begins, on October 4th, 2025, President Donald Trump invoked his authority under 10 United States Code Section 12406 to federalize and deploy members of the National Guard within Illinois over the objection of the state's governor. He asserted that deploying the Guard in the state was necessary to quell violent assaults against federal immigration agents and property. The state of Illinois and the city of Chicago promptly sued President Trump and members of his administration, arguing that none of the statutory predicates for federalizing the Guard under that section had been met, and that the federalization also violated the 10th Amendment and the Posse Comitatus Act, 18 U.S.C. Section 1385. Because we, the 3 judges, unanimously conclude that the district court's factual findings at this preliminary stage were not clearly erroneous, and that the facts do not justify the president's actions in Illinois under that section, even giving substantial deference to Trump's assertions, we deny the Trump administration's motion for a stay pending appeal, except to the extent we continue our stay of the portion of the order enjoining the federalization of the Guard. Okay, friends, let's go right to those 5 words. 5 words that appear on page 14 of this unanimous Federal Court of Appeals ruling. With the second No King's Day rally approaching, Donald Trump and his flunkies, his lapdogs, like MAGA Mike Johnson, are outright lying. They're saying that the No King's Day rally is a hate America rally. They say that the people who will be attending these rallies are terrorists and communists who hate America. They say that we represent a rebellion against the United States of America. Well, 3 judges, 2 of whom were appointed by Republican presidents, have just 5 words that put the lie to what Donald Trump and MAGA Mike Johnson and others are saying. Those 5 words: political opposition is not rebellion. Can I say that again, friends? Political opposition is not rebellion. Protest is not rebellion. Protest is patriotism. We have First Amendment rights to speak our mind, free speech rights. We have First Amendment rights to do exactly what we're going to do at the No King's Day rallies: assemble and petition our government for a redress of grievances. And boy, do we have us some grievances. We have an aspiring dictator in the Oval Office who federal court judges are saying over and over, day after day, from coast to coast, Donald Trump is acting unlawfully. Donald Trump is acting unconstitutionally. So, yeah, we got us some grievances. And we have a First Amendment right to political opposition, to protest, to free speech, to assemble and petition our government for a redress of those grievances. And MAGA Mike Johnson says that makes us communists and terrorists, and it shows that we hate America. I'm sorry, little MAGA Mike. You are the one who hates what America stands for if you maintain that position. You know, you hate and you would deny the American people their First Amendment free speech rights and their First Amendment rights to assemble and petition the government for a redress of grievances? No. Protest is patriotism. And just as those judges instructed, political opposition is patriotism. And if Trump and MAGA Mike Johnson and those of their ilk try to deny the American people of their constitutional rights, they are the ones who hate America, or at least hate what America stands for. They hate what the Constitution guarantees to the American people. So you're damn right we will stand up and speak out and stay strong and march and protest and rally and exercise our First Amendment rights tomorrow and every damn day until we are once again living in an America that is not ruled by an aspiring dictator. Because justice matters. Friends, as always, please stay safe. Please stay tuned. And I look forward to talking with you all again tomorrow.